Wow. Look at that open.
Order submitted. Order
Order
filled.
filled.
Jesus, love.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Good morning. Currently, so I jumped into a short on ES. I was trying to get filled up here around 85, but I got filled at 79.5. Um, with how heavy Nasdaq was, just taking out the initial, range of that low, I was shooting for the same thing to happen on ES down to 71. But it's looking like that may, we may reverse here. So we'll see.
Order filled.
That's so loud.
Order submitted.
Why is that so freaking loud?
Order submitted.
Alright, looks like we're gonna get stopped out, but how much stronger ES is than NASDAQ today. Mondays are strange.
Order filled.
Stop filled.
Like, why the
Order canceled.
why is this shit so loud? I keep turning it down. Alright, well, took a loss right there. That's alright. We got some swinginess in the market today. Looking very, very strong. Let's wait to see how this plays out here the next couple minutes. Alright, well, looks like we're going to have the 15-minute opening range low set if we don't just dive bomb here. Okay. Might be looking for a long here after this retracement. What is that, at 84 up to 97? on ES, and then on Nasdaq that'd be 843 up to 930. See how we play out here. It's like on the ooh, we are so close to all-time highs on Nasdaq. I did not realize that. ES got a little bit of ways to catch up, so we could be looking for longs here. Definitely a good longing opportunity, I think. All right, we're gonna try it again on ES. All right, back into a long on ES. It's a little bit of a 1-to-1. We got entry at 84, take profit 96, stop loss at 71.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Nasdaq looking like it just wants to flip again. Like, that's gross, man. Look at that. Mondays, Mondays, Mondays. Lots of action on Mondays. I just don't want to send this back up. All right, well, we got the 15-minute opening range set. Let's see how we play out here. We're getting some pretty nasty swings, so let's see what we want to do. Like that's just, I don't even know what that is. ES pushing back up here to entry. See if the bulls can step in and take this higher. I mean, we're getting, we're close to all-time highs on Nasdaq. I don't know if there was any like war news over the weekend or anything like that, but I don't see why we would be, going lower. Nasdaq looks like it's finding some strength. ES pushing back up above entry. We got highest close of month sitting up there at 7624 on ES. You can see that Nasdaq pushed up the highest close of month, so that's why I mentioned it, just because you could see a move up there today. I just want to play the range, so I want to play it up to the session highs, the 30-minute or the 30-minute so far opening range and the 15-minute opening range. Take the profit there, see how we react, and then I can re-enter. Yeah, barcoding already, right? It's that Monday open, so profit. I don't know what kind of profit taking people would be doing, but from the overnight session maybe. Um, I mean, it's looking like we're getting a nice push back up. We're almost at our TP on the take profit accounts. 96.75 is what we need. We got up to 95.5. You can see a nice little push here. Don't want to see a rejection. struggling to get over the session highs here, so not really liking that. We could make the case. So it's just this is just a little bit of a retracement. We can do this. See, it's looking weak, but the bears are having trouble sending this down with speed like they did on this pullback. So it's kind of telling me that, bulls are in control here. There's definitely a battle going on, but it looks like the bulls want to hold this and send it higher. You can see NASDAQ, bulls took control. They took that wick high out at 902. I want to see session highs, and then I want to see ES follow suit. So we're in the position on my take profit accounts, the funded and the eval. I'm not touching my Lucid funded accounts until we get out of this range, just because I don't want to risk it on those accounts, trading within the opening range, especially of the first, the Monday, first day of the week. Need to see ES get back above 95 here within the next like 2 minutes. I want to see this 5-minute candle push above, tap our take profit, hopefully get out of this range. I don't like that. Look at that on the 5-minute. We are just truly barcoding right now. Not loving this. I've only previous day high, so Friday, we pushed up above, kind of playing around right there near that area. I want to see us hold and get higher here. There's some strength. Let's see that continue. Let's see that hold. Let's see that hold and that push. Nasdaq looking nice. When you see ES get up there. Didn't think we'd have to break the magnet out this early. Look at that strength on Nasdaq though. Looks like it wants to push, push, push. There we go. Nasdaq going for the session highs.
Order submitted.
Let's see ES do the same. What the heck?
Order canceled.
Come on, let's open up this new hour of taking the session highs. Nasdaq's doing its thing. What are you doing, ES? We got about 1 minute left until the next hourly candle opens. Oh, wait, no. Am I wrong? Nope. Alright, there goes Nasdaq taking the session highs. We're 2 ticks away. Alright, I'm closing it out. Closing that out. There's some profit there. We got about 10 points on ES on that W. Took profit at 94.75, so I'm going to move that down just to reflect that. There we go. Made some of that loss back. It's alright. That's how we do it. We just take it and move on, right? And now we wait. Now we wait to see if anything presents itself on the Lucid for the Lucid funded accounts. There goes ES. Poke. We poked above it. Why does that change? Highest close of month. Oh yeah, the highest. So the highest close of month on ES is up here at 7,691. It's like, why does it keep changing? Because when I go to the 1 minute, it says it's down here at 7,624, but that's not the case. All right, well, that was a nice little, stair step trade up. We lost the first one trying to go short, just catching, not being patient, trying to catch the move or trying to anticipate and predict the move off the open, which never usually ends up well. You can see NASDAQ, we came down, pushed back up, and then we retested the 50% of the first hourly candle's range, which was, well, sorry, that wasn't the 50% of the first hourly candles range, because that ended up being the 50% once we got up here. So if we just draw it based off of that purple box, like we I guess we did test the 50%, based off of what the range was at that time, and then we pushed right up. So that was at 842 up to 927. That was, that would have been a nice little long there. ES, the pullback to the 50% of this swing worked out. 86 to, 96, like I said, but we took it at 94.75 just to secure the W. I ended up trading Friday. That was a mistake. I lost some money. I didn't lose money on my Lucid accounts. I lost it on my Take Profit accounts. So, I'm a little bit behind. Not behind. I'm a little bit down on those two accounts. That's okay. I think I lost like 330 or something on Friday on each. We're gonna let the auto trader run on the take profit eval, see how it does throughout the day, just to try to get that account passed. The guys that that made the bot that I use, they're releasing a lot of updates, trying to really get it, to optimize itself and run through historical data to pick the best combinations for their, auto trader. So that's pretty cool. I did pretty well last night, and then I took that loss right off the get go. So ES swept the opening range, push back down. If we don't see this get higher above that 597, I do want to see this go lower. But we have this wick high up here at 604, so the 5-minute push we swept, and now we closed back into the range. I just got a fib geometry set up, the extensions right here, just to see how we play out. Looks like NASDAQ is gathering steam to push us higher. Highest close of month is sitting at 21,037, which I believe is that also all-time highs? All-time highs is just above that. So this is the fib geometry extensions. I'm going to take that off. But if we're looking at how, the pullbacks of the 50% based off the swings, you can see here we pulled back to the 50% right here. You could see this push higher, come down, retest, and then push back up. ES looks so much weaker than NASDAQ today, If we can't fail to get above the opening range in the session highs on ES, then, I do want to see, or I expect to see a deeper retracement back down to get some liquidity to go higher. We are looking pretty strong though. So this fib right here, we would have been looking at something like this. So the hourly, we had a big push up right off the open. 4 hour, we're looking super bullish. So the 3 a.m. 4 hour candle closed, super bullish. So that, kind of tells me that we are going to get a continuation throughout the rest of the day to push this higher. We'll just want to see a break and a retest of this opening range. So, from here we can be looking at like that. There's some targets over here to the left. Excuse me. We really swept above that, and then we couldn't close on the 5-minute above the opening range. That's wild. That's crazy looking. So, just based off the fibs, we could do this and this up to that wick at 604. I didn't enter that. I do want to see how we play out here because that wick above and then we just push right back down. That's not super nice looking. Very concerning. You would be risking about 4 points here. I want to take it. I want to take the long, but I don't trust it. I don't trust it. That wick is, and the failure to close above on the 5 minute is kind of giving me some hesitation here. If we can get some strength here, I might take it and just have my stop at 90. You can see NASDAQ broke and is retesting the 15-minute opening range. If NASDAQ can close above the 15-minute opening range on the 5 minute, I would want to see, I would enter a long stop at 908 with a target of the highest close a month. Unless there's a wick over here somewhere. Right there, 976. We could see an SBS play out here too. But we'll just wait. That's why I didn't jump into that long right away. We might see some shenanigans here. I didn't like how that wick closed, or that wick pushed up. Sorry, how that candle wicked up. And then we pushed right back down into the range. We couldn't close above. We got about 15 seconds left on this 5 minute. Let's see if NASDAQ, no, looks like we're going to close within the range. All right, NASDAQ is sitting at the 50% of this swing. Some weakness coming in. See, and then like if we take this fib and we extend it down to this swing here on the 15 minute, from the session lows up to the current session highs, 50% is sitting around 864, which we're approaching right now. But again, that'd be at entry at 864 with the stop loss down at 758. It's quite a big range, a big stop loss, a lot of risk. So that's why I like to look at the higher time frames to see where we're at, and then we can draw it up on the 1 minute. Here we're below the 618. The 5 minute, we're kind of not doing anything. So let's see how we react around this 864 level. Glad I didn't long on ES. I was about to take that on the funded accounts. That would have been an instant loss. Not rushing into anything here on the Lucid accounts. I don't like, Mondays are always tough. So if I don't see a setup, then I won't take it. We are reacting off that 20 SMA on the 5-minute nicely. We're pushing up from that 50% retracement on the 15-minute. We could take a long here with the stop at 842. But I want to see a nice 5-minute closure above that 20 SMA there. I'll be looking on ES. ES is the same kind of thing, so we'll draw the fib. We got fibs inside of fibs. All right. So this is the fib of like the range, the 15-minute opening range, pretty much. You can see we wicked below, or we pushed below the 618, and we're trying to push back up. Nasdaq trying to find some support. Five-minute candle's about to close. If we stay above 848, be a good case for the longs. But I mean, look at how weak ES is. Just super heavy. There's that weakness. ES about to retrace the whole opening move. Get news or something? Like, what's going on here? Nothing. All right, well, we're just gonna kind of sit here and be patient. That sweep of the 15-minute and 30-minute opening range on ES, that's usually a setup I take to go short. Very good indications there, telling me, hey, good area to put your risk on. 4 hour candle's pushing down quite a bit. Could see it come down, retest previous day high again at 784, and then we push up. Yeah, it is dumping. I don't know why. We're gonna get that move that I lost on on that first trade to take out, you know, the session lows. It's looking super weak, man. I just don't. I don't want to try to ride the shorts because we know how that goes. Okay, well, there's the session lows on ES. We just swept that. It's a little too early on my entry. On the first entry. Okay, well, there's that like 784 area, previous day high. From here, I'd be looking for a retracement back up to then, you know, send us lower. This wants to keep going down. Same thing with ES. We got London's low sitting at 7552 on ES. We have it sitting at 30,686 on NASDAQ. We are looking very, very weak here. On the higher time frame, like what pullback is this a part of, you know? It's also what we got to be looking for. All right, Nasdaq just swept the opening range low, and we pushed below it. Yes, we're dumping here. Don't want to get in front of this. Even one of the guys that I get my base my trading strategy off of, Stoic on X. He lost $1,000 today trading. He's doing a 90-day trade challenge where he just does one trade a day. Win or lose, that's all that's the only trade that he takes. He lost $1,000 today, so not celebrating his loss. I'm just saying that even the people that you learn from take losses. Even the people I learned from take losses. So just reinforces that when I take a loss, it's not me. It's not just me. This is looking very weak. I'm gonna take these fibs off because it's not looking like we're gonna get a retracement. We're almost down to the London lows. Looking very, very, very heavy. And that ES move, the sweep of the 15-minute opening range high, failure to close above. Perfect. That was a perfect. Just based off the entry, if you set your entry right there at the close of that 5-minute candle, targeting the session lows for the 15-minute opening range low, be a good, nice little trade. Those are the trades that I'm looking for. I didn't execute on it today, just based off of how strange price was moving. Because I really don't like trading Mondays in general. It's not. All right, we're at London lows on ES. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Mondays. 4-hour candle completely retraced that entire previous 4-hour candle. It's craziness. What is going on here? Yeah, we usually don't see this on Mondays. Usually they wait till later in the week to do these kind of moves. It's like a 300-point swing on NASDAQ pretty much. Is it coming all the way for Asia lows? Way down there? Man. See, it looks so easy after the fact, right? Like, oh, I should have just shorted and wrote it. That's what I said here. And then it stopped me out. You know, it's so easy to see after the fact, but when you're in it, in the middle of it, it's like, oh, okay, well, you know, like we could come down and we could bounce. You could just see a quick flash up. You know how the market likes to do. But with this, I do want to see this kind of play out. I do want to see lower prices. You know, get a move up to that 50%. Some people, you know, would play it to try to catch the long up there. How to tell a reversal. I'm still trying to figure that out myself. When like a reversal confirms, I mean, right here you can see, again, this is after the fact. We wicked above 15 and 30-minute opening range high. We pushed back below the previous candle's low. We closed, and then we retested that previous candle's low on the next 5-minute candle, and we failed. You know, that is a good sign of a reversal. We kind of did the same thing on NASDAQ, just a little bit above the opening range. Swept the previous candle's high, took out the low, retested that previous, you know, that candle's low, and then dumped. See, now we're kind of hanging out down here, not really doing much. You say, oh, well, we're going to continue to dump, and then this is where, you know, they send it all the way back up. Seeing if you were bold, you could take a long from here, just, you know, with the risk being the lows. Be like a 40-point stop. and then you can target that 50% retracement, which is about a little over 100 points higher. And that would be a good area for a fib geometry because we swept London lows. On the 5 minute. All right, I'm gonna be on for about 2 more minutes. Gotta get ready for work here. Do not like the way that this is moving. Super strange price action for a Monday. You know, we are sitting, we're close to all-time highs, but we know how the market likes to play. You can see all-time highs are over here, up here at 31104. We were looking like they wanted to shoot for it, but then they just missed. ES looks like it wants to come back down and sweep. We could just see a resweep and then push back up. Yeah, look at that. We got a 45-point ATR on the 1 minute right now. So these 1 minute candles are moving on average 45 points. I think if the look back is like 14 candles or something like that. ES double bottomed. All right, 740. We got 1 loss, 1 win on the take profit eval and funded. So that's good there. We see NASDAQ kind of looking like it wants to hold here. So we'd wait for it to cross this 100% extension, and then we'd enter off the second pullback. So from this low here, wherever that high ends up being after we breach the 100%, that's where the entry would be long, you know, targeting the 2618. So I'm going to leave that on the chart. We'll see how we'll come back to that tomorrow. We could just see that get invalidated as soon as the stream ends too. But we'll see how this plays out. If you're green, I just step away. You can even not step away, but just lock your accounts. Don't trade because this is kind of strange movement we got going on here. But other than that, I haven't traded my Lucid fundeds. We'll, you know, let those survive. Probably, hopefully, we come back to better price action tomorrow. But yeah, if you're green, lock it up. If you're red and you've hit your max loss limit you've allowed for yourself, lock it up. Otherwise, just being patient, waiting for the setup to come to you. Alrighty, I'm gonna log out here. Have a good day, everyone.